Hi, my name is Shireen Bell. I'm a clinical instructor at Red Deer College in the nursing program.
And I'm Jessica Green, and I'm a PN instructor at Red Deer College.
We also are both faculty navigators, and we support new faculty as they transition into becoming nurse educators. And so we wanted to provide a video. Today's topic would be on creating clinical schedules. And so we have an example here that we wanted to talk about. And why would we create this kind of a clinical schedule? One of the reasons why I like having something in a hard copy list is to have a great communication tool. And so communication not only to the students, but also to the staff to know that we are going to be doing certain types of activities or on the floor for certain times and maybe even off the floor at certain times. And even though that we come in and we usually introduce ourselves in advance, we do some orientation shifts, each day that we're on with different people in most cases. And so it's nice to have right on site on that day a way of communicating to the staff that you're working with that day. And so this has come in handy, even for our staff. What I like about giving this to the students is that then they have a time tracker. They're starting to develop this idea of time management. They also have a clear idea of the types of activities they should do throughout their time on the units or the floors in your practicum setting. And so there's kind of this idea of a mutual understanding that this is what's going to happen today. And so some of the things, we're going to just show you some elements. Really, for us, we already know between the different courses that we teach, the particulars are going to be a little different. But you're going to see some principles in here that you could still translate into your own courses and adapt. So please feel free to have that kind of flexibility. So this is just one sample of many ways that you can create a clinical schedule. And so like even in the header at the top, I tend to put what the course is and which group, because you might have multiple groups that are coming to that same unit or setting. So it's nice to even know who's who in terms of the different student groups. I like to put my instructor name. I'll even put, for me, I'm comfortable putting my cell phone number because often where our facilities are large, I'm with other students. So if they need to contact me, they have a way of getting a hold of me. And then this is just me putting in time estimates only because you know what it's like when you're in clinical. As much as we give some sort of time frames, we're not exactly able to do all of these exact times.
But also recognizing, too, that each facility will have different start times. Yeah. So we have our pre-conference at 6:30. Some places will start at 6:30, so you may have to start at 6.
Yeah. Exactly. So you can see some ideas around some of the particulars that I would put on here for the scheduling of things. And so lots of things are happening in the morning with really early beginning on students. I do like to put break time in there because students, especially when they're first in clinical practicums, they get quite caught up in all of the things that they're doing, and it's important for them to understand that they should be taking some breaks as well.
And part of their day is building in that break, and time management does include break time.
Yeah. And then what you're also seeing is we did put post-conference in there as well. As you scroll down, again, this is not only for the students, but also for staff to show how the students are being paired and where they're being paired. That has been helpful as well. And we go into shift report with the team that's working that day, and this has been very helpful to let everybody know the student assignments. The other thing that I like to do is to show the list of things that I would expect that students would do and that staff could expect that the students would be able to do. And it depends on your course. Some courses do a cumulative acquisition of skills. So maybe every week you're going to add to your list of the different skills that students are able to do. Others might have them front-loaded skills, right?
Yeah, so in the PN program, we tend to do all of our labs first. So when they go into clinical, they can do most of the skills kind of right off the bat, but we still like to label it because they don't do lifts until they've been signed off by their instructor.
Right,
They can't do medications until they've been checked.
Yeah.
So we like to add those things on the list as well.
Yeah. So you can see on our very, very first day, there's some basic things that the students are able to do in this particular course that are laid out. But then as I go along in this particular course, I will keep adding to the skills list as they acquire and get approved to be able to do some of the other things, such as medication administration.
And I think a key word here is that you've written able to assist with.
Yeah.
So on the first day, they're assisting with transfers and mechanical lifts.
Yeah.
Maybe by the end, it could be more independently doing morning care.
Yeah.
And building up some of those verbs as well.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So that's a basic overview. And I think I just wanted to flip to one that I use in acute.
Yeah.
Just to show a little bit of a difference in some of the listing. Let me see. I think it's this one here. Mm-hmm. Okay. What you're going to see is some difference in the timelines. And then again, you're seeing quite a few different particulars in the skills listings, and you can even see some things that details, like I say, removal of the simple drains with the instructor's assistance, for example, and that's something, again, just trying to be very clear with the staff and letting them know how much would I let the students do independently versus what the instructor needs to be available and present for.
Well, and again, it's a communication tool to the students as well. Mm-hmm. So if they need to know that if the faculty are knowing they can do this, then I need to know what I need to know as well. Yeah,
yeah. And something like in the very top, before I actually list the particulars, you can see I even put down things like students will do many of their skills in partners even. So they work in dyads often, right? Between student dyads versus the nurse student or the instructor student. So even something like that might be helpful to let the staff know what's happening and just remind the students that they can do this as well.
Yeah.
So just to summarize some of the basic principles, trying to give you students and staff an idea of the course that's on the unit, the group, and then maybe the week that we're at. Mm-hmm. Maybe you want to put your instructor contact information and your name, and then some suggestion of your scheduling that you're going to be on the unit or in the facility, and some suggestion around the skills that the staff would expect the students would be able to do, and as well as the reminder to the students.
Yeah, the only last thing I would add is if you plan on pulling your students off the day at all, maybe put a note saying students might be doing off-unit experiences.
Yeah.
Or if you plan on doing a midday conference, maybe putting that in there so everybody is aware for that communication tool.
Yeah, that's worked really well too. So good luck on making your own clinical schedules, and we will be posting a couple of different samples of clinical schedules that you can look at so that you can actually download it maybe as like a template and then adapt it to your own needs. And that will be available on our Faculty Navigator website.
Yep.
facultynavigators.com.
Okay. And under clinical resources.
Okay. Thank you again. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.